back to the BTS Happy Hour podcast. I'm your host, Andrea. With me, as always, is Morgan.
Hey, what's up?
So tonight is day one of Permission to Dance Las Vegas, the concerts. And while prepping for tonight's recording for the podcast, I was going to watch the live stream for day one, but it looks like they had a delay at the start of the concert. The video screen on the right side was not functioning, and they stopped the concert right when BTS was about to come out for the first song for On, and it was kind of a, I wouldn't say tense situation, but it was like, oh, what's going on? Like, is something wrong? And you could see that the screen is not working, and I feel bad because it's like that's pressure on somebody to fix that really quickly, and like who knows what technical thing is wrong. So yeah, I felt bad for BTS because they're probably like eager to get out there and perform, and they were actually, I think they stayed in that little box the whole time, you know, where when they lift the screen and like they're about to, when they come out for On, they're kind of in a little area on the stage. So I think they just stayed there while this was all delayed. I mean, ARMY was really calm about it. They seemed to be like, oh, what's happening? You know, the stream I was watching anyway, people were just like kind of talking to pass the time, and they're like, oh, you know, it looks like the screen isn't working, and looked like someone was climbing up to fix it. Someone had to go like up high and like check wires or whatever it is. But yeah, it seemed like a tense situation maybe, because I mean, you'd think this kind of problem would have come up when they're doing sound check, because I thought that's when they check everything, is when they make sure everything's working. But I saw on the stream that they made an announcement. They're working on restoring the screen, and you know, by the time they got started, it was 45 minutes later after it was supposed to start. So that's kind of a long time. I mean, it went kind of fast, but still, it's like, wow, that all that time they're just waiting to go on. On the plus side, it looks like everybody got into the stadium on time. It wasn't any situation that I heard about like SoFi where things were delayed and you know, people were still in line while the concert got started. So yeah, you know, good for Allegiant for being well organized. But yeah, I was surprised that this is the first time I've seen technical problems happen at a BTS concert. You think everything's run so smoothly, but you never know. Like, this is in a new city and a new stadium that they've never performed before, so I could see, you know, something might happen. Some outlets are not working or whatever it is, and they got that fixed in time though, and they got underway. And from the point that they got started, it seemed like everything was fine from there. Like, everybody, the singing was good, the dancing was good, like no one seemed rattled, so it seemed like BTS, they handled it like professionals.
45 minutes is a pretty big delay, but in the grand scheme of things, there's not much time. I
mean, since they would have started at 7:30, like a Vegas night, it doesn't usually get started till later anyway, so maybe this is like more Vegas time.
Let's just put it this way. The concerts have been delayed for many reasons, and a lot worse than this.
Yeah.
Sometimes the artist is being difficult.
Right.
The artist is drunk or high or something like that.
Yeah.
There's many stories like that.
They can't go on yet for their reasons.
So I think just be thankful that they're generally on time.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? I have not been to one of these concerts where the artist was really super late. No, I think we have. I'm trying to think of who it was, but the vast majority of artists are on time. Mm-hmm. So anyway, but and still, 45 minutes is not that long of a wait.
Yeah, and I think the fans were being really calm and patient, so I applaud ARMY for behaving well, because I could imagine, like, for a different artist, it might have been the fans start getting restless or they start booing or something, you know, like, you don't want to see that happen. But, you know, that wouldn't happen with ARMY, so I think they handled it pretty well. They were just waiting patiently, and, you know, it all got resolved, so good for whoever fixed it. So on to what we were going to talk about until that happened. Big Hit announced that Jin wouldn't be able to participate 100% in the Las Vegas concerts because of his finger, which is still healing. And so they sent an announcement on Weverse that, you know, again, they announced that Jin had gone through surgery for his finger to repair the tendon, and at this point the the doctor is still advising that Jin's movements are minimized, so he isn't going to do the full choreography. But I saw from the feed that he was there and he was still participating and he was standing around for some of it. But I think just some of the harder songs he's not going to be able to do, like Black Swan, or those ones where it's like very tight formations and a lot
that's
of
too bad.
dance moves. Yeah,
you're gonna notice the absence.
Yeah, and they would also have to make adjustments to their formations for some of these songs, so that's gonna be adjustment for the members at the last minute. And although maybe they knew that already and they were just waiting for the announcement to go to the fans, I'm not sure. But yeah, I don't know if they knew already that Jin wouldn't be able to do it 100% by the time these concerts started. So I guess they're worried that if he injures his hand, that'll make it worse. And it's healing, and you don't want to get another surgery after this, so you have to just kind of leave it alone. But I think their team is very creative, so they'll be able to work around it so it's not that noticeable. And even when I was watching the beginning of the live stream tonight, I couldn't even really tell that if he wasn't there or not. I did see there was a chair and he was on the side for some of them, but then if you're just looking at people dancing, it was hard to tell.
I don't think it'll impact people's experience at the concert, of course.
Yeah, I mean, I think the important thing is that he's still there and he's singing. It's his voice, and he wasn't not able to go because of COVID or something like that. So I think that's the important thing, is that he's still there, and they're all there together as 7. But yeah, that's too bad that his finger didn't heal more in time. I thought he would be okay, because I thought, okay, the Grammys, maybe you don't want to risk it, but the concerts, I thought they were aiming for him being in it, so I didn't actually expect them to have this announcement. So since the Grammys, BTS they've stayed in Vegas, of course, because they need to stay here for the concerts, but they've been out doing things since Sunday, since the Grammys, and from what we can tell from their Instagrams and Twitter and everything, they've been able to enjoy the different parts of Vegas. So I'm glad to see them having fun and being social and stuff. So the Monday after the Grammys, looks like V, made a friendship with Jon Batiste because he went out to lunch with him. So I think that's pretty interesting that he's out networking with other musicians. Because I'm sure Jon Batiste, he just won Album of the Year and stuff. He's probably a busy guy, but I guess he had enough time that he could have lunch with V. So I think that's pretty cool. And
I don't even know this person.
He's a New Orleans jazz musician.
Oh, okay.
And I'm not sure why he won Album of the Year, because I didn't know that it was that popular, but I don't know. I guess he got the votes, so it resonated with people, apparently.
Okay. That's fine.
That same day, on the Monday, I think it was, Jungkook went live on V Live, and he was talking to fans, answering their comments and singing every once in a while. But the crazy thing that happened was that he kept getting phone calls from somebody, and it was just repeatedly happening. And it wasn't his cell phone, it was the hotel phone. So it seemed like somebody was in the hotel and maybe they were calling other rooms, or they somehow knew what hotel he was at. So it was kind of uncomfortable situation. Some sasaeng probably was trying to figure out what room number he was at.
Well, they figured it out, I guess.
I mean, they must have.
What hotel is he staying at?
Oh, I don't know. I never found out what that was, but it had a pretty distinctive painting or print behind him, so maybe someone figured that out and was just in the hotel and started calling all the rooms, because of course they wouldn't know where he's at, but then you can call other rooms just by, if you trying each phone number, each room number. So that's what people speculated, was just some sasaeng was in the hotel and was trying to find out which room.
Of course.
But that's crazy, and people need to just calm down, leave him alone. What are you going to do if he answers the phone? It's not like he's going to, let me talk to you, you crazy person,
Right.
It's what are you expecting from this? You're just bothering him. So that was kind of it kind of ruined.
Why doesn't he just leave the phone off the hook?
Well, eventually, a staff member took away the phone to another room.
Or unplug it or something.
Yeah, he probably should just not even use the hotel phone. So yeah, but that that caused some situation to be like not as fun. So I hate that happened, because it's like up until that point it was like he was having a good time talking to people and being online and talking to fans. So that's too bad that happened. And then we just saw from Instagram, and it's good that they all have individual Instagrams now, because we can find out all this information. Although I guess otherwise they would have posted it to the BTS Twitter, which is kind of not too active now. Mm-hmm. But we saw that RM went to the desert to see this attraction called Seven Magic Mountain, and I didn't even know this was something to do near Vegas, but it's like a rock formation in the desert, and they're like very colorful stones to look at. I guess if you like nature, that's something.
Right. Well, I mean, if you like drinking and partying, you would never make it out there, because there's plenty of the drinking and partying in Vegas.
Yeah, I guess if BTS is doing that, we're probably not going to see pictures of that. They'll just be doing it in their own time and not showing us.
I mean, if that's the type of thing you like, that's great. I knew people who would go out to see some kind of nature. I don't know what kind of nature is around there. It seems to just be a desert. What's so interesting about that? But okay. Yeah,
I mean, there's people that go hiking. There's like the Hoover
I'm going
Dam.
to Red Rock or the Hoover Dam. And I was like, well, I just want to drink and party, and that's right here.
Yeah.
So, well, I mean, why did we come to Vegas? If you want to see nature or whatever, I can think of better places to do that. Like, why don't you go to Vancouver or something like that?
Yeah. I guess, they had different interests.
I mean, obviously they're there because they have to do a concert.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about my friends. Why are you doing nature? You came to Vegas. I assume that your priorities are the same as mine. It's Vegas.
Yeah, there's a lot to do.
It's not Colorado or something.
Yeah, and I think RM was the only one that went to that. But there's all different options in Vegas to do. There's people that go to like for luxury. People go for like spa things or for entertainment or gambling. I don't think they're allowed to gamble. I've heard something about that. Like Koreans aren't supposed to gamble or outside the country or something like that. But yeah, I don't think they're doing that. But otherwise, I saw that J-Hope visited the Van Gogh exhibit, which I found out was at Crystals, which is the shopping center that's connected to Aria. So that's where that's at. But, they have that Van Gogh thing. It's like in a lot of cities. Like they have it in, all the big cities.
Yeah, they have it in San Francisco.
Or I guess the big American cities. I don't know if it's in Korea or not yet.
It looks interesting.
But yeah, that's a popular thing right now.
I consider going to it.
It is a popular thing in the U.S. right now, the Van Gogh thing. And also on April 6th, we saw that V, Jungkook, and J-Hope were hanging out together that night, and they went to a private dinner at an unnamed restaurant, which you found out was Carbone at Aria.
Yeah, I recognize it.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, what's this restaurant? It's very distinctive looking. We should find out. And then we saw that they visited the Bellagio fountains at night. So I figured, yeah, it's probably nearby. It's either going to be at Bellagio.
But it's not a Bellagio restaurant.
Yeah. I thought they might have.
That puzzled me because the dining area they were in was not private. When you say private party, you could see even in the picture, there's some dork. Well, maybe that's unfair. Not a dork. A man in the seated near them. Right?
Well, yeah.
He was not part of their whole thing.
Someone in another booth or area.
Right, but the point is they weren't in a private room.
Right.
They're just seated in the regular area. That's a regular area.
It didn't look like a full restaurant though. It seemed like only a few parties were there. I couldn't really tell.
Maybe it was a weird time.
Yeah.
But there was a person that I really strongly believe was just a regular person.
You think this person had no idea that's BTS was sitting?
Well, maybe he had some idea, but it wasn't closed off to the public is what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. If you were lucky enough to be eating in the restaurant that time, you would see them.
Oh.
I don't understand because a lot of restaurants do have, private sections.
Yeah. Maybe it was limited. Maybe it was like after 9 o'clock or something.
Yeah. And the only other issue I have with it is, I'm not saying it's a bad restaurant, but I don't think it's the best restaurant either. I think there's a lot of better restaurants. They were right at Bellagio. Bellagio has like 5 Michelin star restaurants right in it, you know?
Right. They have like Lago and there's a Wolfgang Puck.
Yeah, they have so many. They have like a Michael Mina restaurant. I'm not sure why they ate there. I don't know. You eat what you feel like eating, but I would have tried to hit up Michelin star restaurants, all the fanciest ones.
Mm-hmm.
If I were them, I would have gone to the most expensive restaurant in Vegas, which is Robuchon.
Oh yeah, I wonder why why didn't they go there? Because that's MGM. And
it is MGM. I don't think that has anything to do with it. They can go anywhere and pay for anything.
Well, it kind of seems like they're sticking to the MGM hotels when they do stuff.
But Robuchon's a super expensive restaurant. French. Oh, and another thing, Robuchon's decor is all purple. I don't think they care about that, but it is.
It's purple?
Yes.
I don't.
We've been there.
Yeah, I don't remember what it looked like.
It has like plush, very French style purple decor. Even the couches are purple.
Oh, well, that would be good for BTS. Good for pictures.
Hey, if you're Army and you want to go to a purple restaurant, that's the purplest restaurant in all of Vegas. Now it costs $400 a person, but it's purple. You know, and there's only like seating for 20 people. It's a very, very high end restaurant.
Maybe
We've only been there once.
Maybe they're saving that for the end, like when they're done with the concerts.
Well, yeah, maybe they're there for a long time. You're right, but if I were them, I would want to hit that up. I was like, what's the big deal with this place? 3 Michelin stars, right?
Mm-hmm.
In case you're wondering, the big deal is it's really fine French cuisine. So those types of places often get 3 Michelin stars. When I was there, I just ate the foie gras. Mm-hmm. But they have a more expensive like tasting menu, like that's 14 courses. I didn't get that. I couldn't afford it at the time.
They should probably do that.
Huh? Mm-hmm. They should. I bet it's freaking awesome. And we should probably go back there and do it sometime as well.
I think Carbone though is popular among celebrities.
Why?
Maybe not the one in Aria, but I've heard the one in LA is very popular. Like that's Kanye West's favorite restaurant or something.
Oh, maybe it has cachet, just the name. I see.
Yeah, maybe they thought, oh, we'll go to the one in Vegas. That's, known amongst... Maybe they heard something about it at the Grammys. People were talking about Carbone.
I could see that, but I'm just saying there's a lot of better restaurants.
I think Carbone is like fancy Italian food.
Like Bellagio has Le Cirque, Picasso, Michael Mina. These are all Michelin star restaurants. Mm-hmm. And of course, price is no object. They can pay for all of these. And the place we like, Mayfair, although I don't think they should go to Mayfair because it's always packed. They couldn't have any privacy. Yeah,
and you'd want to go there when there's music playing, and that's when it's full of people, though.
Yeah, so they couldn't get away with... when they went to Carbone, there weren't that many people in that room. It must have been an off time, some weird time. It might have been even at like 4, like before they open, And maybe that one guy was just there, able to be there,
Yeah, just the chef and a couple others.
But we don't know what time it was. We don't know that it was dinner time. It could have been just a weird time, right?
Yeah.
Could have been slightly before opening.
Figured it was later, maybe.
Or maybe after they closed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe it was after they closed and then they stayed open to serve them. And then that one guy stayed super late.
Someone that didn't close out his tab, so he's just still there.
I think that maybe that's probably more likely because they wouldn't let in a person early, but a person might be able to just stay late,
Yeah, it's like, hey, BTS
like, could you please leave? They wouldn't say that. They would just say, well, it's mostly empty. BTS can come in now.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that's what happened. It was super late dining. But I bet you anything they could do that at the other restaurants. I think they're big enough to make them stay open. Mm-hmm. That must be so annoying for the workers there, though.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure this comes up. Other celebrities probably do that, too. So we saw that the 3 of them went to dinner, and then they visited the Bellagio fountains at night on April 6th. And it was the next day that they started to do the special show with the BTS music at the Bellagio fountain. So they probably just saw like, an early preview of it. So I think they were really impressed by it because I saw some videos like from Bellagio's Instagram, and they had video too.
Yeah.
Reacting to it. Like they don't have something like that in Korea.
No, they don't have like some gigantic fountain with music. Mm-hmm. I would imagine Spaces is at a premium in Korea. Even just I watched like walking videos or travel videos in Korea, and just things are just more compact, Mm-hmm. Even like the nicest area like Gangnam district is still kind of like small buildings and it's all compact. I'm not saying that's bad, but in Vegas it's America. You have big things.
You can take a lot of space.
Yeah. we go big,
Yeah.
So that we're used to that, and you'd have a gigantic fountain show.
Yeah.
I also watched some live streams from Vegas, and they were talking about how there's so many people watching this fountain show because of BTS.
Yeah.
They're like clogging the roads.
Normally it's just like, there's people gathered around, but since it's happening all the time, it's not a huge crowd at all times, but there were so many ARMY.
Now, if you're a new visitor, you've never been in Vegas, the only advice I will offer you, if you're going to see this show, which I'm sure you will, is around that area, since it's such a popular tourist area, like tourists walk by, they look at the fountains all the time. They always have like these people dressed up in costumes as either like showgirls or superheroes, mm-hmm. and then they want to take pictures with you. Mm-hmm. Just keep in mind that the picture's not free. Like you're supposed to tip them around $20. So if you don't want to spend that money, don't take a picture with them.
Yeah, they're not just there for you.
Right. So like if you don't want to spend that money, refuse to take a picture with them. Okay? That's my only advice in that area.
Yeah, I think not everybody realizes that. They think
right.
they're there to interact with people.
Right. And they will even say, hey, do you want to take a picture with me? Like, it's not free. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah, that's good to know.
Now, if you want to take a picture with them, of course, go ahead. It's a fun picture to have, but it costs money. And I think they deserve it. They work pretty hard. Like some of these, especially in the summer, some of these outfits, it's not fun to be in the heat.
Yeah, very elaborate outfits.
Yes.
Or it's like showgirls wearing like very little clothing. And then also we saw just yesterday, I think it was, that Suga posted a picture of going to a Vegas Knights hockey game, which I didn't even know there was like hockey happening, but he took a picture there.
Yeah, there's a hockey season happening. Vegas has a team.
And Suga is the sports fan of the group, so it makes sense that he's the one who's like, hey, what sports are happening right now? And, Vegas doesn't have a basketball team, I don't think, right?
No.
So, like, that's what's happening right now is hockey. And, yeah, he's normally a basketball fan because, like, in LA, he went to see the Clippers, I think. But, Vegas doesn't have that. So, I think it was nice to see that BTS was enjoying their time in Vegas. I feel like them doing all these different things is already doing so much for tourism. It's like people are going to be like, oh, I want to go do that. Now that I saw...
well, BTS fans will say that.
Yeah. Now that I saw Suga and V and Jungkook going to these different places.
But that's also not irrelevant. There are like 160,000 BTS fans coming through the town.
Yeah, and they need to fill their time and
right.
do different things. So it's kind of fun to see what they've been doing all week before the concerts. Another thing that's been going on in Vegas, I don't know if this was planned by HYBE or if it was just the city of Las Vegas realizing that they have this golden opportunity to impress BTS ARMY who's pouring into their city to spend money. Mm-hmm. But multiple hotels and properties decided to light up with purple lights because they all have very elaborate lighting on outside of their hotels. It could be any color they want, but a lot of them decided they're gonna light themselves up in purple in honor of BTS performing there. And it's like, this has never happened before. A lot of locals were saying that. It's like they've had very big acts performing, but never has there been like a citywide
well, I don't think any other act has a color so strongly.
That's true. Like if you're Metallica, like what color would that be? I don't know if they have a color.
Black.
Yeah, light up in black.
Yeah.
That's not gonna look great. So yeah, there's like many hotels that were lighting up in purple lighting on the outside and even the shopping areas. And this also includes City Hall, and the air traffic control tower at the airport participated in this. So it's like, wow, this is very coordinated and very purple. And it just felt, I mean, I'm not even there now, but I was like, it felt so welcoming. It's like, wow, they're really,
Well, Vegas is very good at this.
yeah, they're
You know,
so
it's
good at marketing.
the primary industry is tourism.
Yeah.
So they know how to make people feel good, feel welcome, to feel like to have fun. You know, it's just, this is their industry. They know how to do this sort of stuff. Think about what a great opportunity is. This is a bunch of people who may not have otherwise really been interested in Vegas, but they have to come here for this because BTS is playing. It's not like if BTS was playing in multiple cities and then they came to Vegas to watch BTS, the demographic you're pulling would probably be people who, A, of course they like BTS, but B, they also like Vegas, so that's why they chose this city as opposed to one of many other cities to go to. But since this is the only option, you probably will bring in a bunch of people who weren't even that thinking about going to Vegas or that interested. Didn't really occur to them.
Yeah.
Right? This is your chance to impress them and maybe gain a repeat customer. So it's a great opportunity. And it's like 160,000 people. Well, a little less when you consider that some people are, you know, buying tickets to like 4 events. So
Yeah.
maybe it's like 155,000 or something like that. But it's a ton of people with fresh eyes. And this will be the first time they've seen Vegas, and it's your opportunity to pitch this city as a vacation destination, a repeat vacation destination. And we've been there so many times. Obviously, we like it and love it, but there's a lot of people who are going to be seeing it, you know, for the first time.
Yeah, and they're getting a good impression from this, whether it's like they know that it's a conscious or not. But, you know, the city is just making so much effort to make ARMY feel welcome. I think that's really smart, and it does make me want to go to Vegas more. It's like, oh, this, you know, they want me there. It's almost, it's just like almost like the relationship you have with like the parasocial relationship with an idol. It's like, oh, they like me. They, you know, we have something going on. We're friends. It's almost like that. They want me there. But yeah, people were saying, yeah, this never happens with other artists. You know, people come and go. You know, A-list artists perform there all the time, and nothing special happens. So I think that's really impressive that BTS was able to make this happen, which I don't even know if they asked for it or the city just decided like, hey, this is a good idea for us, for our benefit. So, but it's really crazy to see all of the pictures and videos of this happening. It doesn't look real. It looks like a meme, which is all it was beforehand. Like, people were joking about that before. It's like, yeah, let's make Vegas purple. It's like, wouldn't that be cool if that happened? And now it's like actually happening. So I think that's pretty amazing. I mentioned in a previous episode that I thought other hotels and establishments on the Strip would want to participate in some kind of BTS promotion, and that is exactly what's happening, because I've seen a lot of tweets and Facebook posts from places in Vegas that have created special menu items for BTS that are, you know, available on the days of the concert or, you know, throughout the time. And a lot of these involve purple items, so it's like purple food and stuff. So I saw that Luxor has a special menu that uses ube. They have a ube waffles and purple milkshake and a purple cocktail from, you know, the bar that's there. And Mandalay, the Seabreeze Cafe, has a special menu of blueberry pancakes and a purple yogurt parfait. And then also Mandalay has a special purple cocktail, which is called Purple Empress Cocktail, which is at a couple of the lounges that are there. That one is a gin-based drink. I think Purple Empress is gin. So that's going to be a kind of a strong drink. I don't know if everyone can handle that, but...
No, I mean, it's only a little, gin's only a little stronger.
Yeah. It looked like a cool drink.
You can make it easy to take.
That might be one we want to get. Like, it'd be good for pictures because it's like you have this cocktail. It's purple.
Well, I mean, the same thing can be just achieved with some food coloring. Right? A lot of this just sort of kind of amounts to, hey, we put purple food coloring and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if this sounds fun to you, of course, go ahead and do it. But I'll just echo what I said before about some of these locations, like the Mandalay Sea Breeze and literally anything in Luxor. It's not really a prime destination. If I was going to get a drink, you should still go to places like the Wynn, the Encore, the Cosmopolitan. They have much nicer bars. You're going to have a great experience. And if you really insist on purple, then just tell them to put some purple food coloring in or something. They may even have it already just because BTS is in town. I don't know. But you'll have more fun there. These like Mandalay and Luxor are not top tier hotels. I wouldn't spend a ton of time there myself, you know. If you're staying there and it's some on the way, then that's fine, but it's not something I would recommend. That's all.
Mm-hmm. I love the effort that they put into this, though. It's like they didn't have to do anything different.
No, yeah, it's good that they're doing that.
Yeah.
And it will please some people,
mm-hmm.
sure.
And I think that there's a lot of people, they don't seek out specific places really like we do. Like we're planning this out. You know, some people are just stopping at, you know, whatever's in their own hotel,
right? That's
whatever's
true.
on the way. And if you see like BTS themed items, like let me get that. That sounds good. You know, I think that's smart of them to try to get more customers that way. Especially like, you know, people aren't necessarily going to stay in Luxor and do a lot of their activities in there. They're going to be going out
mm-hmm.
out on the strip. So this is a good way to at least, you know, attract some attention, and you have something on social media that you can talk about. I also saw that at Allegiant Stadium, they have a special menu. I think it's only in certain sections of the stadium, and I looked and it was like, oh, of course it's like not anywhere near where our seats are going to be. So
well, we got crappy seats this time. So.
Well, that's okay because it's the thought. But that, you know, they came up with a bunch of like Korean.
Well, we could have gotten the Wynn Field Club
items.
I'm sure it'll be available there.
That's true. That's still an option. And there's also still like tons of resale tickets that I saw. So maybe like the last minute.
Well, I looked into Wynn Field Club and it doesn't look like a good idea. It just like seems like you have no view of the field.
Yeah.
You just if you want to be around this concert but not really see it. But who falls in that category?
We found out it's kind of like in the end zone, but then it's kind of behind all of the sound mixing equipment. Yeah. So you might not have a good view.
Yeah, that's not for us.
Yeah, we definitely want to see the view for this. Like maybe if it was a football game, it was like, okay, who cares? It's just atmosphere. But
who cares about football? I want to see the football game too.
Yeah, but you could see what's happening on a screen if it was a game.
And the actually football games don't look good in person. It's hard to understand what's happening. Football is actually much better on TV, just so you know. It's
difficult to watch a football game in person. It's like something's going on, you know, in a very small area on the field, and you don't know. You can't hear exactly either. But yeah, a concert, you definitely want a good line of sight, and you don't necessarily get that with a Wynn Field Club, we found out. But yeah, so this special menu is available at certain areas in the stadium. It's like Korean type food, like a pork belly banh mi and kalbi ribs and like a kimchi hot dog. It's like all these things sounded really good, and it was like, okay, it's nowhere near where our seats are, but that's okay. It looked very, very professional, very specialty items.
Mm-hmm. And one might think that these items aren't like, if you didn't really know, you might think, well, how is this Korean? It's a bunch of hot dogs and stuff. Right? It just seems like kind of like American food. Mm-hmm. Or some sort of bastardized thing. But the fact is that American food really influenced Korean food because the American military is stationed there.
Right.
So like a lot of American foods really did influence. They eat hot dogs there.
Yeah.
You know? So it's not that weird or inauthentic necessarily.
Yeah, all of these Allegiant dishes sounded pretty good. And also notable about Allegiant Stadium is that they announced on April 4th that they've updated what the COVID requirements are for the concert. they said that in accordance with the local Clark County health guidelines, the concert will not require proof of a negative COVID test or vaccination for entry, even though that's what we thought was going to be required when we all got tickets. So since, there's less cases now and then things are getting less restricted, they've changed their rules. However, they are still requiring masks to be worn in the stadium unless you're actively eating or drinking. So that is a change from what we thought was going to be the situation there. But I think that's good because it'll make it faster for people to get in. And also, I don't think there needs to be like such a restriction on people anymore, because it's kind of the world moving forward now, and we're having performances, and it doesn't seem to make that much difference. Like, oh, people vaccinated, or if you're checking or not. It's like, if you're gonna get it, you're gonna get it. I don't even think masks are helping that much.
No, I don't think so. But the only thing I'm concerned about is that lines move faster.
Yeah, I think that will help it move faster. That if you don't have to check for that, they're just checking for entry at the stadium. Which is weird because, like, the Lady Gaga concert, it seemed like they're still pretty restrictive.
It's up to the artist, I think, too.
Yeah, I think it depends
if she insists on it, then you have
event. Yeah, so it was just odd that they have two different requirements. But, yeah, it depends on the event and the venue. So this week, for some reason, there's people that have decided they're going to criticize BTS. And I don't know if it's because BTS was in the spotlight because of the Grammys, or people are just like getting annoyed that there's too many people talking about BTS in a positive way. And it just seems weird that BTS is just out there, minding their own business, making music and performing, and they just get criticized for no reason. The first guy, it's a producer named Mike Dean who worked with Kanye West. He had responded to some tweets. He was disappointed that Kanye West's album didn't win Album of the Year, I guess because he worked on it. And then he was responding to a tweet about that, and someone said, name a group smoother than BTS, and then he replied, anyone. And then he started, arguing with BTS fans on Twitter, and he was saying like, oh, they don't write their music, and he's like, there's no way that they do that, and it's like, check the writing credits of the album. And then he was starting to call for Team Travis and Kanye. He wanted to call these other fans in to like fight for him and argue back.
What do they have to do with anything?
Yeah, it's like, why do they care that you started this, And it's just like, you created this situation, and it just seems like unnecessary. And then he was saying, oh, he had a beef with A$AP Rocky at some point, but then later on he worked on that album, and then they're good friends. But it's like, okay, well, I don't think BTS thinks that way. It's like, they don't even know you, so at this point you're kind of like making yourself look bad. And if they ever were going to work with you, they probably aren't going to now, because you're kind of like a loose cannon. But yeah, eventually he did apologize and said that he was trolling. But I guess the gist of it was he was mad that his Album of the Year choice lost, and he kind of picked a fight with
why does he
BTS
care so much
Army.
about it, though?
Yeah, I mean, Kanye West's album, like, I don't even think it was in the running, really. I mean, it was nominated, but why get mad at BTS? They weren't even nominated for Album of the Year.
I think that's an excuse. It had nothing to do with that.
Okay.
He just wanted to make some edgy comments about BTS
Sometimes
because he doesn't like them.
People just feel like arguing with other people just for...
He has an opinion about the amount of talent and the skill.
Mm-hmm.
And this is I'm not going to call it xenophobia or whatever, because we don't know that is what's going on. But I think it's sort of indicative of the attitudes some of the people who are voting at the Grammys have.
Mm-hmm.
They just look at them as less talented, or, they're not inside our industry, so we don't respect them, right? Or they're just a boy band.
Yeah.
There are a lot of different factors that sort of pile into this perception of them that a ton of people just have. And I'm not going to get upset about it. People are entitled to believe whatever they want to believe. He believes they're not talented. They're not good for various reasons. That's okay. Not everyone has to like them, right? And even saying it on Twitter, I don't care if people apologize or not. Don't apologize. It's just what you think. It's what you think. You know, other people are going to also tell you what they think. Presumably, this is the purpose of communication platforms like Twitter, right? We're all telling each other what we think.
Yeah. It's a free speech.
It doesn't bother me. It just doesn't bother me. But who is he anyway, even? I never even heard of him before today. So how's it even that important? He's just some old guy.
Yeah, I never knew this person before I saw this story. But yeah, I can see it's hard to picture before knowing BTS. Like now that I know them and it's like, oh, I've seen so many V-Lives. I've seen their documentaries. I've seen them talk about creating their music. Yeah, I see that side of it. But the average person who's just some music industry insider who pays no attention to all that, you just see like, you know, a picture of 7 guys dressed well in a magazine and you think, oh yeah, they don't have like this kind of skills that I have. It just seems like people on a page, you know. I can see that you might have that opinion, but yeah, you shouldn't have such a strong negative opinion when you don't even really know them. He's just kind of made a snap judgment there, and he did apologize, so I don't see how anyone can be like that upset about it. It's just like, well, whatever. This moment passed.
Well, even if he has a strong opinion, who cares? Go ahead and have a strong opinion.
He only hurts his own future opportunities. So
yeah, there's just some person out of billions of people.
Yeah. There was also Joe Budden, who's a podcaster, and I didn't really know, but I guess he was a rapper before that. I didn't pay attention to all that, but he has like one of the top podcasts, and he said some negative things about BTS, and he's like, I guess he just was annoyed at seeing so much of them at the Grammys, because like he's like, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to see their dance moves. I don't want to see you come down from the sky in a little umbrella. I guess he was talking about Jungkook, and then he's like, I don't want to see you come up from the audience and then do your 98 degrees moves. It's like, well, wait a minute. They're way better than 98 degrees as far as choreography. So
98 degrees. I don't even do choreography.
Yeah, those like 4 guys just stand there and sing. So
yeah.
That's not even a comparison. And then he's like, oh, I know they're big. I know they're from China. I don't want to see it. So he just seems like he's one of those guys that just like hates on things just to do it. You know, kind of like Ethan Klein or like Keemstar, like someone who just says a lot of stuff about the biggest
I mean, he's
acts.
a podcaster. He's a big podcaster. You don't become a big podcaster by having mild opinions on things.
Right. You have to.
You have bold opinions on things.
You have to like yell about stuff and.
Yeah, and rant about things and complain about this.
Ranting
or
is popular.
Yeah, so that's just part of the thing. I don't think it's insincere. I think these are opinions he actually has. My guess would be that BTS, they don't sort of align with his concept of what a good music artist should be or is or looks like or acts like, or they don't align with his concept of maybe even masculinity or something. He doesn't react well to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And again, just like in the previous, just like, well, he has his opinion. That's fine. You can have your opinion. There's going to be tons of people with opinions like this. So if you get worked up about it, I would just suggest don't, because there are a lot of people who think this way and there's nothing you can do about it. There's billions of people on the planet. What can I say?
Yeah.
Many of them will have positions and viewpoints that anger you.
Yeah.
Or are totally unfounded or wrong or whatever. It's okay. I know that's easy to say because I'm not that emotionally invested in it, right? But it helps to keep that perspective. And also, he sucks himself. I don't want to go into his personal stuff, but you know.
Yeah, he's not some upstanding.
He had to
person.
like settle a lawsuit for like sex abuse or something.
Mm-hmm.
So he's not that clean of a character himself. Why should you care that much about what he thinks?
And didn't he like betray the people?
I won't get into that. Who knows? I don't know. Yeah,
on his own
probably
podcast.
That's business drama. I don't know about that. But yeah, he's not the great. And also, as a music artist, he had one hit. I don't know if you know that. He used to do music before he did podcasting. He could only muster one hit, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, probably deep down, that's part of it. It's like, oh, they're so successful. They have multiple hits. It's like they make it look so easy. It's like, oh, I don't like what they're all about. And he's probably like only respects rap because that was his genre.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard to give credit to other genres that you don't really listen to. And yeah, but he's a podcaster, so he's purposely having strong opinions. And it's like, he's like, why can't I just hate on a group? Like, why is it a big deal? Just because a group is big and talented, you can't hate them. It's like he just thinks of it as like having opinions. And he didn't apologize, so I think that's...
I don't know, it's part of his brand.
Yeah.
This is just part of doing his job.
Yeah, for him, I think it was like for the podcast and probably what he really thinks. Whereas Mike Dean, I think he just had like an emotional reaction to something. So that's why he eventually apologized. So it's like two different situations. But it just seems funny that like BTS is like over there trying to just practice for their concerts and trying to just be on the Grammys. They weren't even nominated for a huge award and they're still getting hate for no reason. But I think that just happens anytime you're a group or a singer that's at the top. There's always going to be people that like they have something to say. So I think just gotta expect that.
Yeah, and you're just gonna have this opinion always. There's a lack of respect for boy bands.
Yeah.
It's just, you're not gonna convince everybody ever.
That's true. And the other news that coming out of Korea was that you know how they elected a new president a couple weeks ago, and the president-elect is trying to put together his inauguration, which is supposed to happen May 10th, and then someone who's putting together that event was on a radio show and was like, oh, you know, we're discussing, you know, BTS being at the inauguration ceremony. And I thought that, I was like, what? May 10th? It's like, what? That's so soon. That's like, it's April right now. And, you know, BTS, I'm sure they plan out all of their activities very far ahead of time. So if you're hoping to get BTS, I don't know if that's realistic, but maybe he wasn't supposed to say that, or it was just something they were putting out there and they were hoping like, oh, you know, BTS, maybe their Big Hit will jump at the chance to do this. And it's like, I don't know, like they're probably pretty booked up and don't assume that they can do it. And yeah, so later Big Hit put out a statement. They said the agency just found out about this through news reports. We have not received any invitation as of yet. So they're kind of like unaware of what's going on there because they're all the way over here in America doing their concerts and Grammys and stuff. So they don't even know if they've been invited to something officially. But yeah, I'm glad they said something because otherwise people were just like, oh, is BTS performing at that? And maybe they were assuming that they were going to show up and interrupt whatever it is they had planned. Because a lot of people think BTS is going to announce a new album soon and they might be going to the Billboard Awards. They might be performing a new song there. There's a lot of speculation right now, but you know, if they're going to perform at this inauguration, they'd have to go all the way back to Korea and do that, which I don't think they have any intention of doing that because they're already all the way over here and have other things going on. So it just seemed odd that someone planning the inauguration mentioned BTS, and maybe he wasn't even supposed to say anything about that. Like it was something they were trying to figure out behind the scenes, but he said it and it's out there.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, this will not make people happy who don't like the new Korean president, but I think BTS should probably do it. It might help them get exemption. It can't hurt.
That's true. And we also heard that the new president had sent people to go talk to HYBE about, you know, future cultural significance, things having to do with BTS, I guess, helping with various things. They said it was not about exemptions, but, you know, probably that was discussed or brought up at least. Yeah, I would hope that it's not, oh, you do this, then you'll get an exemption. Because, like, what if they don't even have time? They can't even try to negotiate anything.
Right.
Because they've got this whole year planned out. Probably they're going to say more tour dates soon, and it wouldn't be that convenient to go back to Korea. But, you know, who knows what the plans are coming up. But yeah, a lot of things up in the air right now. It'll be interesting to see how it all unfolds. Thank you to our guest, Morgan. You You can listen to BTS Happy Hour on Amazon Music, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and other podcast platforms, or visit btshappyhour.com. If you like the show, please take a moment to rate us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. New episodes weekly. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Weverse. If you've listened all the way to the end of the episode, you have proven yourself a true fan of the podcast. And in honor of Day 1 of Permission to Dance Las Vegas, comment with a purple heart emoji on our latest Instagram post. Until next time, this has been the BTS Happy Hour. Thanks for listening, and remember, make every hour a happy one.